form, and void. And darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And then later it moves into how what he created was good. God states from the beginning that it is good.
I really like that.
But why is that good? Like, God creates all of this stuff and it's good.
Okay, what I'm thinking is that starting off your religion with a metaphysical statement that...
Metaphysical, I don't...
Metaphysical, do we have a good definition of metaphysical?
Well, metaphysics is more generally like the study of what is.
Yeah,
What
it's like
constitutes-
philosophical...
What is there in our universe?
So metaphysically, things are good.
Well, yeah, like a statement that reality, everything, being, is good. And I really like that. I think that that's a great way to start off a universe.
Well, at
saying
the core of our
it's pretty chill.
existence is compassion and love at the very core, as far away as that may seem from a lot of people's lives. One of the things I like about that too, though, is it points towards, in the very beginning, there is intelligence. There is an intelligence, some form of intelligence that ended up being all of the other intelligence. So I guess for our viewers out here, we talk about God a lot between the four of us, but I think a traditional conception of God is a being that is different than us, or an old man in the sky. So as you listen to this, it might be more helpful to think of God as another synonym for the consciousness, or the Tao, the spirit, the soul. It's a bunch of words
Whatever
pointing
that
towards
fuzzy feeling in the back of your head that's like, ooh, that makes you just like, ooh, that's what we're talking about here. And we're trying to make sense of it ourselves. For me, it's like the great reality that well, for me, it's a big wiggle, but that's a story for another day.
Yeah, I don't... God is this very strange thing, because we have all of these religions that we sort of grow up hearing about, where we're supposed to worship God and, have this certain relationship that people in the past have sort of prescribed us to have with this omniscient being. And it's really confusing growing up in a culture that has all of these prescriptions, because you don't know how to interact with this thing that is, God. It's like, whoa, God.
Yeah, I think it takes everybody a really long time, and everybody has to develop their own personal connection with God. Or it's like a really individual thing, at least for me, because there's a lot of prescribed religions, or there's also different sects within religions and different traditions and things like that. And to me, they're just different things that people have tried to connect with the transcendent, to better their lives in ways that they might not understand them as logical truths, but they help their lives in different ways. And I think for every person, we're all a little bit different. We all have a little bit different brain chemistry. We've been through different experiences and all of that, and everybody has to find their own mix, their own traditions, their own ideas of how to connect with the transcendent.
I think it's interesting. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm guessing all of us at some point in our lives were pretty like hardcore atheists. Is that the case?
Yeah, me.
Yeah, I figured.
Well,
and
how do you define atheist?
I think back. So from personal experience, I think back to like me in high school. I was very sort of pessimistic whenever I heard anything related to God or religion or anything like that.
I'm very skeptical.
Yeah, it was an extremely skeptical mindset where I pushed away from anything relating to God, relating to spirituality and all that, because it conflicted with my scientific understanding of the universe. And I think that's all in conversations with you guys, it seems like that's where we came from. And yet we've each developed our own rich perspectives now on the divine, on spirituality and all that. That's a lot of what we talk about. And I think that's fascinating and worth exploring.
Yeah, a lot of times when I talk about this concept, I do tend to prefer to use the word spirituality over religion, as I think all religions are spiritual in nature, but they're all a bunch of different end groups, which I think, and it's a conflict that's hard for me to understand. I don't want to say it's not helpful, because it's really helpful to find a community of people who you trust and work with and grow with that give you meaning in your life. However, like you mentioned, even within Christianity, so many different sects build. And right now we're at a time where it's fine, but in the past that was very bloody.
Yeah, true.
So, and then with the word God also seems to have this connotation. Even when I hear it today with my deeper, more articulate, nuanced understanding of it, it's a word that I think carries a lot of history with it.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
I think when I think about religion, one of my central sort of frustrations with organized religion is almost the commoditization of the divine, where it's an attitude of this thing is mine, this thing is ours, like access to the divine, access to spirituality, all the beautiful things that come from it. You can have that if you join our club, and if you don't join our club, you can't have it. And I guess that's my biggest point of frustration with organized religion is I feel like it almost uses that beautiful thing as a way to pull people in, saying you can't have it unless you join us, and if you're not with us, you can't have it. And I don't like that. Wow, we picked a really polarizing.
It's like everybody's gonna stop listening immediately.
We just lost most of our audience.